Hey everyone, it's Pluto here. Welcome back to another gear guide video. Today, it's going to be for fire in Wizard101. So I want to preface this video by saying that I don't actually have the best gear right now. I have a lot of farming to do. Honestly, farming in this world is such a grind, but I do have what the best gear is. I do know what it is. So I felt that I should just make this video so that people that need to farm for gear know what they're going to get. You may not be able to see the best stats on this page, but I do have with me, on me, what the stats actually are, and I will put them also in the description. And I will also put a link to all the bosses and the gear that you need in the description as well. So I do have some of the gear, so we'll start with that. So I want to start by saying there's two different setups that I'm going to show you. One is going to have the Eternal Primordial Cape, which is the best fire robe in my opinion. The other one is going to have the Fiery Nullity robe, the upgraded version of it. That one is a lot harder to get for a casual player, so I've included this one so that you have another option. So we're going to start with this one first, as this is what I believe most people will likely have. So you want to start off with the Malevolent Fire Hat. This hat is actually better than the Dragoon hat for fire. It gives more damage and pierce. It gives a little bit less health, but long term health doesn't really matter, and a little bit less crit, but then health doesn't, or crit doesn't really matter. Same as health. So you basically want to farm Sign of the Old One in Lemuria for this hat. You do not want Merciless Fire Hat, which is the, I guess, KingsIsle's best version of it. You want the Malevolent. So for the robe, you want the Eternal Primordial Cape. So how you get this robe is actually a little bit convoluted. What you need to do is you need to farm the final boss of Novus and get an, I believe it's called an Abstract Primordial Cape. You need to get one of those. And then you need to get 20 pixels and 50 polygons and come to Louise over here. And he sells, or he doesn't really sell them. You just craft it over here. You need Primordial Masterpiece, pixels, and polygons. So, yeah, you just craft this, and this is the best robe for fire, besides Nullity Robe. Nullity Robe is the best for fire, unfortunately. It's very hard to get, you need to do raids, but if you don't have the time to do raids, you don't have the resources, this is the best robe. Anyways, the next piece of gear is the boots. The Primordial Aeon boots. These are dropped by Maxine Rocapier in Novus and La Via Rose. Then you have the Primordial Aeon sword, which is dropped from the final boss in Nucleus Gallery. You can also craft this. You can also craft pretty much all of this gear, besides the Malevolent hat. You can craft the robe, the boots, and the wand. So now we're going to be starting with gear that I don't have. You want to run the Aeon Primordial theme, which is, or the Primordial Aeon theme, excuse me. I'm blind. Okay, there it is. You want to run this theme. I still have Merciless. I have not gotten this theme yet, but this is the best theme for fire. And then as for amulets, I actually don't have the Dragoon amulet either, but I have the Vanguard, which is almost there. Dragoon gives a little bit more health, and I believe a little bit more resist. You will want to run Dragoon amulet. These cards, the Fire Dragon cards, are amazing for fire. You could also, I suppose, run Morgan's Dark Charm or the Darkmoor amulet. But I just think that these Fire Dragon AoEs are the best for fire. They're useful when questing. They're just outright the best. They're also really fast, faster than Meteor, do more damage, and are faster. So this is probably going to be the best for a very, very long time. And actually, it should just be the best forever. So back to gear that I actually don't have. I don't have the Primordial Aeon ring. So what you want to do for this ring is you can either craft it, and you will farm Design Duelist, in the nucleus gallery. And for the Athame, you will farm Ren 1010 in La Via Rose. You get the quest to do Ren 1010 from Lassie in New Vercordia. You just do the quest, and then you get to Ren 1010. And then for the rain, Design Duelist. And for the amulet, you also just farm King Detritus for just to craft it. It's the only piece of Dragoon gear you need. Personally, I'm just lazy. I don't feel like doing it. When I'm questing, I only usually use one card anyways. So yeah. But anyways, moving on. The pet, I also don't have the best pet. This pet is actually a fail with proof. However, it's still pretty good. Gives me the set bonus. If you don't have the Frillasaur, I will also leave in the description how much damage you'll have without it. But basically what you would want, the most ideal pet for maximum damage is Quint damage Frillasaur with this amount. That gives you 8% damage. It's really good for fire. This is still fire's best pet. And my pet is not max statted. It's a little bit off. It has mighty, but it's still a little bit off max statted, unfortunately. It's a fail. I need to maintain a better pet. I have the stats, I have the damage for a better pet in the description. So you don't need to worry. My stats aren't the best, but I will have what the best stats look like in the description, and also links to the gear. So with that being said, you want the Stompy Bronto mount, which is also got in the Crown Shop. If not, then you would want Clockwork Courser or Fire Gulcher. Either of those two work if you don't have this, but yeah. Or just no mount in general, that's fine too. And then for deck is honestly, it doesn't really matter. I personally just run Higher Arts Volcanic deck. You don't need this. You can run just pretty much any of these decks. You maybe lose a little bit of crit, maybe lose a little bit of health, but really in the long term, it doesn't really matter as long as your deck is given crit, health, and a square socket with a Pip. Though you can use block, you can use Pip Conserve. I typically don't block, but Pip Conserve is good too. So yeah. And then, so with this setup, you will be running in with 10,215 health. Now my health is a little bit low because I don't have the best gear yet, but you will be running in with 10,215 health. Your damage will be 207%. If you do not have the Frillasaur mount or the set bonus, whatever, you will have 199 damage. Your resist, it doesn't matter. You can make a pet that has higher resist. You can make a triple double. You can do whatever you want with the pet. You can have more resist. But for personally, what I think is the best way to do PvE right now is go for the maximum damage, crit, and pierce. So I'm going to completely ignore resist. If you want to run with resist, if you're soloing, if you just feel you need more resist, then that's for you. You can do that. You can run your pet with resist. I'm going to show the best damage, pierce, and crit setups because that is what I personally believe to be the best setup, and I personally believe that hitters will have those setups. So I'm going to ignore resist for now. I could make a resist guide maybe, but I don't have the pet or the resources for that as of now. So yeah, you will have full accuracy. 36 is actually way over full, but yeah, you'll have full accuracy. You will have 623 critical. I have a little bit lower because I don't have the ring. You'll have 39 pierce, so right below 40, and 100% Pip Chance. So again, if you want to check out the entire page, link is in the description. So let's move on to the setup with Nullity. So for the setup for Nullity, you are still going to run pretty much all of the gear that I already showed. Every single piece of gear will remain the same. This hat, the Malevolent hat, Primordial Aeon boots, all of this remains the exact same. You want all of it. The only thing that changes is your robe. The Nullity robe is the best robe in the game for pretty much every single school. I will show you, once this loads, what the Nullity Robe looks like. How to get it. Yeah. So, the Nullity Robe gives Pierce and more damage than the Eternal Robe. Now, it does give quite a bit less health, so you won't have 10,000 health, but the Pierce and damage, in my opinion, make up for it. So, here is the Nullity Robe. One sec. There it is. So what you need to do is you only need to do a raid, the Voracious Void, Dragon Spire raid, the only raid that exists in the game currently. And you only need to get the level 150 version of this, and then use 20 pixels, 50 polygons, to upgrade it into this. This is the best fire robe in the game. The Nullity robes for every school are pretty much the best in the game. You're going to be hard-pressed to find a robe that is better. It's really unfortunate that KI made the best PvE robes locked behind raids. Not many players can do them. Personally, I don't really even have a way of doing them right now, even though I'm in a guild with the portal unlocked, and I even have the Nullity Robe on my Storm Wizard. I don't have a way of doing them either. So yeah, it's very hard to do them with the cooldown that they have into effect. And honestly, I could go on a whole rant about why raids aren't accessible, and they need to be made more accessible, and they need to make it so more players can do them. But anyways, let's just take a look at what the fire setup is with this robe. So going back to fire, so with the Nullity Robe, you will have total 9,527 health. You will have 213% damage. If you do not have the set bonus from Frillasaur, you will have 205% damage. You will have full accuracy. You will have 47% pierce, which is crazy. You have 651 critical with 100% Pip Chance. You can definitely do alternate setups like with the Dragoon Hat and, you know, change some things around so you get more health, maybe get more crit. It's very subjective what you can do, but in my opinion, that is the best setup with Nullity Robe. It's gonna be very hard to find a better setup than that. Nullity Robe just gives everything. It gives pierce, damage, crit. It gives pretty much every single stat just better besides like health and resist maybe. So yeah, this has been the Fire Gear Guide. I wish I had the gear to show on my stat page, but again, if you want to see the full list of stats, go to the description. And I also forgot to mention the jewels that you want. So this best stat gear, this best stats in the description is assuming that you have the 155 health jewels, which are the best in the game, 6% pierce jewels on your ring and your theme, and a Pip Jewel on your theme, or a Pip Jewel on your deck, and a accuracy jewel on your theme. So basically you want to run 1 Pip Chance jewel, 1 accuracy jewel. You need at least 10% for the accuracy jewel, I believe, to not be able to fizzle anything. So yeah, and then 10% on the Pip Chance as well. And then circle, just pierce, and then flat damage for square, but flat damage doesn't really matter that as much. So anyways, that's the end of this video. If you found this useful, please leave a like. I understand that I don't have the best gear. I hope that this guide helped you at least a little bit. I'm sorry that I couldn't show the best gear. It's very hard to get the best fire gear in this game. It's very hard to get the best just gear in general. It took me a long time for Storm, and my fire doesn't have it, but I wanted to get this out so that people don't farm the wrong stuff, people know what they need. And yeah, thank you for watching, and see you guys in the next video. Bye.